What's a food prep trick you think is basic but find most people know nothing about? Smash a head of lettuce, bottom side down, on a table. The core comes right out. That right there sounds like witchcraft. Microwaving a lime for 10 seconds will nearly double the juice from it. What black magic is this? This man must be a wizard. Microwave it again and again. Infinite lime juice profit. Shoo it up. You're going to blow the lid off the whole lime juice industry. You fool. They've been using the same lime since 1967. Better to have one good knife than a whole set of crappy ones. And knowing how to hold and use it properly. I can't stand watching some people use knives as I am constantly afraid of them cutting their fingers off. I think this is huge. After practicing my knife skills, my prep time has gone way down. Stir fries used to be dreadful, but now I can work through the veggies and garlic in short order. I just did a quick search. This video is a great introduction on how to use a knife. After showing you how to hold the knife, the first thing she instructs you to do is use the base of the knife to cut. Then she promptly uses the front of the knife to cut everything. I think she was trying to convey that the front end is used to get into the object you're cutting. And the back end with that rocking motion is what should be doing the actual cutting from the rest of the way through. Recipes are merely suggestions. Unless you're baking, then follow the recipe closely. Corollary. Cooking is an art and baking is a science. When you are pouring anything, pour with confidence. Half-assing it will only make a mess. Peep it. I'm pouring it live. Do all of your prep work before you start putting heat on things. Makes the whole process go much more smoothly. Mise en place. I totally agree. One of the first things you learn in culinary school. Don't touch my peeping mise, man. Donuting food so it microwaves more evenly. If bowl of rice, dig out hole and center. etc. Science it turns the dough so hard to RF cook center of mass into a ring instead of one giant lump. Also add water. Just a splash or two. Cause yeah, that's how the microwaves work. I cannot upvote you enough. It's always funny to watch the look of distrust on people's faces when I tell them how microwaves work. After cutting garlic, rub your fingers on something stainless steel, and the garlic smell will be gone. Why would you want the smell to go away? To stop homemade burgers from shrinking to the point they don't fit on a bun properly, put a thumbprint in the middle of the burger. Deep enough to almost go all the way through the raw burger. Don't use the whole thumb. Just so it's a circle about 3/4 of an inch to an inch across. During the cooking of the burger the hole will fill back up so it won't be there when you're done cooking it normally. It seems like it's too easy to work, but work it does. Also don't squish the burger down on the grill while it's cooking. Juices are good. Burger juices running down my chin is the closest I'll ever get to being a dinosaur. Where can I subscribe to your poetry blog? When pitting an avocado I whack a knife into it and pull the pit out. Way easier than using a spoon. My mom does that. Pretty nifty. She also suggests slicing the avocado while it's still in the peel. Top to bottom and left to right. And then the small pieces are much easier to scoop out. How is peeling mushrooms a trick? I call that more work. Can you explain what is peeling a mushroom? If you're dicing onion, score it both the length and width almost through to the last layer. Then cut it perpendicular and you've got perfectly diced cubes of onion. I didn't know and didn't realize I didn't know how to cut onions properly until a couple of years ago. Changed my life. Use parchment paper when you bake things like cookies. chicken breast, or anything on a metal pan in the oven. Less cleanup, no sticking, and it's good up to around 450 degrees F. I have a couple silpets I use for cookies and bread and such. Best things ever. Properly holding a knife does wonders for prep speed and safety. If you've got your hand around the handle of a chef's knife, you're doing it wrong. Here is the superior way. Other tips. If you're marinating your meat for an extended period of time like overnight, do not put salt in the marinade. Add oil to a pan after the pan is hot. Keep a trash bowl or compost bin right next to where you're prepping for easy, organized cleanup. You can peel a kiwi by simply cutting off both ends, taking a tablespoon and inserting it under the skin and turning the kiwi. You'll end up with a perfectly peeled kiwi every time. That's what I did until I found out the skin of a kiwi is peeping delicious. Try it. Cook a bunch of pancakes and freeze them. When it's early in the morning and you're running late, or stoned as hell, it feels like God pats you on the shoulder while you watch the 60 mere seconds on the microwave melt away like butter. Oh am I a god? I am a stoner. I run late often. Clean while you cook. You must squeeze the tail of a shrimp to get all of the meat out. If you just bit it off, you waste 1% empirical data of the meat. Read the recipe thoroughly before you decide to make it. This should be painfully obvious, but I've heard plenty of stories and done it myself of people who started making something without realizing that they were missing an appliance that they needed or something like that. Or that the damn thing is supposed to sit marinate etc for 24 hours. Made that mistake too many times. Countless times I'll be reading a perfectly normal recipe and find these 3 little words buried in all the instructions. Refrigerator cool. Peel potatoes, carrots or whatever directly over the compost receptacle. Saves on cleanup. Clean as you go. Got 2 minutes while something heats up? Wash a pot. Finishing a dish off in the oven? You can probably get 3/4 of the dishes done. But then when do you drink? I love cooking with winner, sometimes I even put it in the food. Julia Child. I'm too drunk to taste this chicken. Colonel Sanders. Add vinegar to potatoes while boiling if you don't want them to break down. They will come out just as they went in, but fully cooked. About 1 tablespoon per quart. Do not leave boiled potatoes sitting in the hot water waiting for mashing while the rest of the meal prep catches up. This is how you get lumpy mashed potatoes. Lumpy mashed potatoes are the best mashed potatoes. Bring water to a boil before adding the pasta. And bring the water to a boil after adding the rice. On the subject of rice, don't fpeeping touch the rice. This is one I was guilty of until I was shown the way. Just cover it and let it do its thing. For bonus magic, make to dick. Add oil to the water before you add rice and mix it up well. Cook the rice as usual with the lid on. When it's finished, take the lid off and turn the heat all the way down. You gotta stay close by and listen. When the water's all gone and you can't hear it sizzle anymore, turn the heat off. Put a plate over the pot and flip the whole thing over. The rice will have a delicious golden crust. You can do it with big pots, but it's way easier with a smaller one that you can fit a normal sized plate over. If you make it in a huge pot, flipping it over isn't really an option. You'll have to scrape it out and that can ruin it. If you're cooking in a rice cooker, I think you can just add oil the same as above and cook. Growing up in a Persian household, there's no word I love hearing more than to dick. Golden goodness. Anything Alton Brown says from any Good Eats episode. Toss your pasta with sauce in the saucepan. Then plate. This way you're not left with marinara or lemon butter soup after you finish your pasta. Different strokes for different folks. I eat the leftover marinara, typically has meat in it like a soup. So peeping good. Also, leftover marinara is great for mopping up with garlic bread. Peel the mushrooms? But why? I barely wash and scrape them. Doesn't all the bacterial speak just get boiled fried off? I don't think it would taste much better. Does it? Wash your hands first. Add butter to everything. Incidentally, have you seen yourself riding things? Put your onion in the fridge for 30 minutes before you start to dice it. It helps with the crying. Talking to a friend who's a trained chef and owner of 3 restaurants in Mick. Q. What's the main difference between restaurant food and home cooking? A. Way more olive oil and way more salt. Get your kids to help. Kids make great snacks. If you cook them long enough. Drop a square or 2 of dark chocolate into ground beef chili. Subtle cocoa notes under the spice. AWW yeah. I like a very little bit good cinnamon too. Like half a pinch. You're not making apple pie. The cocoa imparts a nice mouthfeel too. You can tell it's there. To peel garlic. Press down on the clove with the flat side of a knife. It makes it very simple to get that sticky shell off. The term reduction sounds fancy, but it's really just boiling a liquid down. Throw fresh cilantro on pasta as a garnish. Bitches love garnish. Fresh garlic is nature's super glue. It also makes me want to eat my delicious smelling fingers. The best my hands ever smell is after I squeeze a few limes. Exclamation point. How to eat a pomegranate. I'll remember this the next time I feel like eating a pomegranate in 3 days. Step 4. Eat the pomegranates. Or add them to a salad. Step 5. Blend the pomegranates. I do not think that word means what you think it means.